Hey everyone, this is going to be a quick review on the Cold Steel Rajah 3. Now this is a knife that I do really like, but it is going to definitely take some critiques. The blade length on the Cold Steel Rajah 3 is 3.5 inches, and the handle length is 4 7/8 inches. The steel is Carpenter CTS BD1 alloy, and the weight of the knife is 5 ounces. One thing I definitely like is that this is a fully flat ground blade, which means then that this knife will be able to get sharper than a typical saber grind. Another thing I like is the blade shape. It's a wide blade, which I do like that. It's kukri inspired, which I definitely like that. It's a little bit harder to sharpen, but really it's not that hard if you use some sandpaper, or I will sometimes use, it's a ceramic sharpener that has 2 ceramic rods like this, and then what you just do is you just, sharpen that way or this way. It's also a thicker blade, as you can see, a little bit thicker, not too bad, but definitely nice to see that thickness with being fully flat ground. The thumb plate is also supposed to double as a wave, and it does work, especially if you practice with it, but I do not find it as easy to use as something like this. This is the waved Endura, and as you can see, the wave on the Endura is much larger, so because of that, this is much easier to use. The other one I'm used to is my Spyderco Pakal, and once again, as you can see, the wave on the Pakal is much larger. That's something you definitely have to train for if you are going to carry this knife and you plan on waving it. One thing I really would like to see Cold Steel do is take this thumb plate and make it about 1/8 of an inch longer, and then take the top, and instead of having it flat like that, maybe make it more angled like this. So then this would be much easier to wave out of the pocket. It's an ambidextrous design, which is another thing I like. So to use it with the right hand is the same as to use it with the left hand. The pocket clip is reversible. The traction on the handle it's a little bit smooth, but not too huge of a deal. As you can see, I just put a little bit of traction tape right there. And I put some on the pocket clip, which is something I do with really all of my knives. Another nice thing is that the handle has this little spot right here, basically designed for you to set your thumb there. The handle is pretty comfortable to hold edge forward like this. This way is not too comfortable though, because as you can see, that little point right there hits you right in the hand. It's also pretty comfortable to hold this way, but this way, less comfortable. Not too bad though. Now one thing I would like to see change is maybe make this handle a little bit longer. As you can see, when I'm holding in a hammer grip, it's fine. That's right where it should be. But as soon as I decide to go over to something that I'm supporting my thumb on the spine and maybe holding the angle a little bit different, now the end of that handle is digging right into my pinky. So I would really like to see this handle made a little bit longer by about maybe 1/2 inch or so, and I think that that would really help with it. Now one thing I don't like is the pocket clip. I do not like this pocket clip. It was pointed. I had to file that down because I just don't like pointed pocket clips. Another thing is that this has these small little screws holding the pocket clip on, and they stripped out. I actually had to take the liner from this side and put it on the other side so that the screws would stay in. I don't like that. To me, what would be a better design would be perhaps a straight through bolt. Because honestly, with as nice as the knife is, and some would even say overbuilt, it looks kind of funny to have those little small screws on the pocket clip. So a straight through bolt would be nice, like what my Pakal has. That's a straight through bolt, as you can see. So if this were to strip out, all I have to do is replace that bolt. I can contact Spyderco and get a different bolt. With this, that whole liner has to be changed. So with the bolt, if it does strip out, also just take it out, push it out, put a new one in. That easy. With this, you have to completely disassemble it to change that liner over like I did, which that I don't like. Another thing I like on this knife is I like the finish on the blade, and the knife does hold a pretty good edge. Now for the cons of this knife, one thing is that this blade actually did rust on me. I managed to get it right back off, so it wasn't a huge deal, but with this blade finish, it will rust on you if you're not careful. What I was doing when this happened was I had it in my pocket, I was working hard that day, I was sweating, and the sweat went right on the blade and it started to rust. So this is definitely something that you will want to keep oiled. So, you know, pretty easy maintenance then, you know, just keep it oiled. Basically, I would say treat it like it's a carbon steel blade and you probably won't have that problem. Now the blade shape is a little bit harder to sharpen, but it's not too huge a deal. What I did is I took some sandpaper and I just treated it as if I'm stropping it. Some high grit sandpaper, and that was one easy way to, you know, get a better edge on this once it did, you know, start to dull a little bit. And the steel does hold a good edge. It did take quite a while for the edge to get affected by cutting through cardboard. Another thing I really wish they did was I wish that they would have put the blade steel on the blade. Not a huge deal though, this is their newer Rajah that has the carpenter steel, but that is something I would have liked to see. Another thing is I kind of wish that the triad lock there had a little notch cut out like the Endura has. So that's another little thing that I would like to see them change in the future. Now overall, would I recommend this knife? Yeah, pretty much. If they did a redesign with changing that thumb plate and changing the pocket clip, I'd probably buy another one, honestly, and making the handle a little bit longer as well. I hope this was helpful and informative. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and I'll see you in the next video. See ya!